You said you were looking forward to people writing their angry notes in the margins. What angry note would make you most proud?
Ooh, that is an incredible question. You have to excuse me, my eye makeup has just exploded on me because I've been dripping into my eyes. I'm not actually overcome with emotion. But it probably looks like it. So, angry note. What angry note would make me most proud? I think if people came at it with very strong views about I mean, everyone loves a debate about definitions, don't they? I've actually given up on defining anything now. I just kind of say this sort of things with capitals. But I think I would love to see angry footnotes of anyone being passionately engaged enough in something that is said or stated. So at the beginning of each interview, what I try to do is like a little summary of like find a juicy quote to put at the top, and then a few lines just kind of setting out what I think is interesting about this company or this person, and then another couple of lines setting out the stuff that they're talking about, hopefully in a way that's interesting. So yeah, I would love to see angry marginalia debating that. I think that would be really fun. Yeah.
Any other questions?
I have a question about, I really like what you're saying about the ephemeral nature of, or the problems of the ephemeral nature of interactive theatre. And I once read a book about how to run a LARP that was 300 pages long and had like exact shopping lists. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, but also too much. And so do you have any things that you'd really like to see from the documentation of these kind of ephemeral experiences?
So I think I might be hearing what you're saying about your LARP book. I don't like the idea of stopping something being ephemeral by making it standardised enough that you can like pin every bit of it down, because it's the ephemerality and the liveness and the responsiveness that makes these experiences so special. In terms of documentation, I would like to see, and I'm in fact sort of doing it a little way using a festival as a case study, I would love to see both the creator perspectives and the audience perspectives brought together, because I think some of I sort of started all of this in a fandom space, and me and my friends would write each other essays on Tumblr or Facebook about this stuff. And I think also I realise that if you only look at it from the creator's point of view, you only see what they are hoping or trying or intending to do. And I think if you can really have conversations, recorded, documented conversations with audience members and get their experience of it, then you start to understand the impact and where impact and intention kind of meet. But obviously that's a massive challenge, but it is something I'm very interested in working on in the kind of alternate reality where some wormhole opens up to give me some time.
That's volume 3.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Have another question?
Well, so, funny enough, kind of on that theme, which is how do you manage having the filter of one person describe something that's meant to be a collective experience? So I'm thinking about the kind of Roland Barthes, Cameron Cedar take on the idea that no word has one meaning, because we all, as a reader, take everything from it. Obviously, no viewer has one experience. So I would imagine that's quite complicated, and I just wondered how you took that on.
I think that's very true. I think the best I can do at the moment is either ask people about their creative, like a lot of the creators I'm talking to are creating with a multitude of audiences in mind. So quite often that multifaceted nature is kind of baked into the process if they're getting it right. But I also like hearing people's anecdotes about stuff that happened in their shows. That gives you a little bit of a sense of how that went. Like I like asking people if anything unexpected has happened, or how people have received certain things. But I think in reality the only way to do it properly is to really look at the reception side. I read a really lovely article a while ago. Somebody had access to Punchdrunk's fan letter archive, and like in the pre-digital age, and so they were analysing like the language that people use in these sort of fan letters, And I thought that was super interesting. Like I would love to see actually use like the Wayback Machine to just get it downloaded and watch it on computers, do an analysis of that. Although I think actually if I personally did that, a lot of my friends would disown me. So that's a project that I had to kind of recuse myself from. But yeah.
I think we'll do one last question.
So, given the fact you've talked about the art form being ephemeral quite a lot, if you had a time machine, what are the ones that you missed that you would go back to see, that you've learned about, that you'd love to go?
Easiest question to answer in the world. I keep on talking to people for some reason about What's Better Dance, which was a shunt show that happened years ago, I can't remember. And each time I have a different conversation with someone, some other completely wild aspect of this show comes to light that I'd never even heard of. Yeah, so I would definitely see that one. But I mean, in fact, if there's only one, then that would be the one. But otherwise, I don't
Just
know.
on Dance Bear Dance, because when I was editing, I did look up reviews of it, and every review makes it sound like a completely different show. I'm going, and none of them are like what the people who tell me about making it.
Yes.
I'm going, I now know less about what Dance Bear Dance is than when I started.
Exactly. I feel like my knowledge is actually decreasing. It's like, this is not the way things should be going here.
Sorry.
No, thank you. It's a really good point.
Did you have any other ones that you wanted to go and travel back in time to?
Oh my goodness. I mean, you know, some of these kind of big foundational pieces that I'm exploring, you know, the city I was talking about before. Like, I'd love to go back to Tamara and just do it's like I guess almost proto-punch drunk,
Yeah.
that people have different ideas at different times. The same idea at different times doesn't mean that they're related. But you know, it was again in the 80s, a story, an original story about I can't remember her name, Tamara. It's somebody who was an artist in, I think it was Franco's. It was in Italy, that's right. Sorry, even though I know a lot of things, my memory for names and details is non-existent. Somebody described it the other day as having like a good man but terrible hard drive. But yeah, and this show, you were following different people through different rooms, and then at the interval, everyone, like all the audience, just sat down and had dinner together. Yeah, I would have just wanted that.
Well, we'll try and get you a time. Thank you so much for writing this book. Yeah, please join me in just congratulating you. I think you should sign some books.
Yeah, sure.
That's probably a good place to do it.